Title updated. Nice. All right, here we go. All right, so this amp I have called up is a 65 Black Prince Reverb. And the controls are volume, treble, bass, vibrato on or off, speed, intensity, and let's put that on 50, and then vibrato sync. So let's turn it on. Ooh. Yeah. Billy is going great. I literally work like less than 10 minutes from the house. I can go to work in flip-flops, and sometimes I kick them off. And I basically test software all day, answer emails and phone calls, and have Mexican Wednesdays, which is a 20-year tradition apparently over there at Harrison. So all right, so what do you think about that tremolo sound? This is just a straight 65 Black Princeton. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. We'll go ahead and save this as Prince of Tone, which I'm pretty sure is a pedal, but I don't care, because there's King of Tone, there's Prince of Tone. I do what I want. All right, let's turn off the vibrato. Let's turn on the Anxiety Overdrive version 2. Okay, that's clipping something. All right, very good. So, Anxiety Overdrive, anxiety, OCD. It's kind of a play on words, but and I'll tell you, Billy, how I think I got myself into this situation. About 4 or 5 years ago, I started making YouTube videos. I'm going to look at the camera right here. I started making YouTube videos about 4 or 5 years ago, and I just kept making them. I did not get a job through Headrush, which I was kind of hoping for. Kind of do like the long distance, just work at home kind of job. Still doing customer service, but still making videos and doing different stuff. They never went that route with me, which is fine. But I did just start making Harrison Mixbus videos and had a whole 34 video like playlist. And then eventually a position opened up, and they just happened to move to Smyrna to a new location. So it's really a God thing, I think. It's just I put in the work. They liked the work I was doing. They saw that I like to teach and also do customer service type stuff. So they brought me in. We talked for about an hour, and then that was it. I had to go to my Publix manager, who had just transferred me over to a new store. Said, hey, I kind of got a new job, so I can't work in your dairy department anymore. And I was really happy about that because I didn't like working in dairy, which I can do anything. I've cleaned out chicken gutters before, but if I had my choice, I would definitely just play guitar and do something with music all day. So what I do now is perfect for what I do. And my wife loves it. My kids love it. I'm home every day at a decent hour, and I'm happy, and I'm not grumpy or irritable. And like I would be grumpy and irritable anyway, right? I'm a perfect angel all the time. So anyway, that's the story behind my new job. And thanks to everyone who's ever watched, subscribed, gave a thumbs up to my videos. Click the little bell so you're notified every time I release new videos. I have some goals for my channel, but it just seems like I do have a lot of studio work right now. So I'm finishing up major projects for at least 3 different clients right now. And really, by the time I get home, that takes up a lot of my time. So I feel like live streaming is the easiest way for me to get content out, besides me sitting in front of a camera and filming all this footage and going back and editing it and uploading it. It's just taking hours of time. So live stream is what it's going to have to be for now. Yes. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. And Eli's going to bed. I see how it is. He's at church camp. That's cool. All right. Billy likes the Mixbus vids. That's great. Mixbus is great. It's a great DAW. And there's a lot of major improvements coming down the pike. So I'm very excited about it. And you should be as well. All right. Anxiety Overdrive. One more time. We're going to make sure we're on the bridge pickup. All right, let's kick into Tube Screamer right before that. So now we're pushing the front end of the Anxiety and also, therefore, pushing the front end of the amplifier. I feel like I got out of tune. Let's tune it. So let me know what kind of questions you have. And I know you can't see my screen right now. And I don't have enough juice to use my phone as a webcam. That's okay. I am using the Mevo here to live stream, which I think the Mevo looks pretty good. You know, this is me. Hi. And if I had another Mevo, I could just stick it over the top of my Headrush and you could see that. But usually I'll use my phone, and there's an app on here called the Epoch Cam Pro, and that allows me to connect to the Wi-Fi signal and use my phone as webcam, and then I'll just point that over right here. But I don't have a charger down here. It's just not working. So all right, questions. What do you have? So I really like stacking pedals and just get a good clean amp and then just stack some pedals in front of it, and you can get a lot of mileage doing that. I am using the Sonic DNA Dock IR pack, and this is the IH IR, which is a Greenback 57 off-axis, 100%, and a Venice 30 57 50%. But I could make that 57 100%, and I make the high cut go all the way up and the low cut go all the way down. So that way you're getting the full highs and the full lows. Even though Greg from Sonic DNA, he kind of filters everything a little bit. Yes, good morning, because you're over there across the pond. So, I think you're Andrew, if I remember correctly. So, thanks for chiming in, Andrew. How's it going over there? Wherever you're at, I think England or something like that. And if you're watching and you want to chime in, tell me your name and where you're from, So that way I kind of start learning your names and where you're located around the world. And I just like to know, I like to meet people. I'm a people person. 5 a.m. Wow. He's up early. All right, anxiety overdrive again. I really, really like the Headrush products. They just sound really natural to me, really dynamic, and they sound good. This is the 65 Black Prince Reverb. And like I said, I would put... Uh-oh. Got a call. Alright, how about you not look at me anymore, and I'll just show the screen on the Headrush. How about that? If you really want to see what I'm doing, then you don't need to see my face, right? Alright, let me switch this around. Hello. See, there's the studio, Arcturus AudioFuse Studio. It works good. But now I'm going to point this sucker down. And I'm going to go turn off the light. Hold on, I'm attached to my headphones. Oh. And now it's really dark. I should probably turn on some kind of light over here. So I hurt my arm about, really my shoulder, almost like 2 months ago, and it's still hurting. The new Ambiverb. Oh, the Ambiverb is glorious. It is so great. I like it a lot. Sorry, I'm trying to position this thing. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. All right, that works. No, I don't want to do new rig. I just want to save it. So Ambiverb. This is very interesting. So we have all these presets here. Let's do a very long and see what that sounds like. Billy, are you a Headrush guy? Or are you just a general musician guy? Or are you a Mixbus guy? Let me know what videos on my channel you like to watch. Okay. So let's study the parameters of this. So we have the attack at 20%. And the release is at 90. So the attack, the slower the attack, or actually the lower the number, the faster the attack. So as we raise this up, notice you hear the pluck of my string, but you don't really hear the effect because the attack is so slow. So you want to make sure the attack is somewhat higher. Now the release can either be really fast, there we go. Then the long release basically infinite at that point. Atomic amplifier. Oh yes. It doesn't. I don't think it really matters what you use. Just pick something you connect with and just go with it. Because there's all kinds of products out there. So there's the tone, then tone all the way down. So it's a little darker. We have some modulation. And let's bring the mix down a little bit. So, is that something that you like? And if so, then use it. So with the tone up, you start hearing a little bit of that pitch, that upper octave kind of stuff. Okay, let's turn on the anxiety overdrive. So for instance, I have the Headrush, gig board and pedal board. Also I have the HX Stomp, HX Effects. I have a Blue Guitar Amp 1 over here that I've had for about a year and a half. And I just got these amp sims, the software. This is the STL, the ML Sound, and the S Gear. So lots of different stuff to play with. I'm mainly a producer, engineer here in the studio. I don't play in bands anymore, or in a band anymore. So it's just not important for me to have like a cab, or I have an FR. I actually have the new Laney LFR right here behind me, which I'm not exactly gelling with, so I'll probably just send it back. Is that $700 that I could use on something else? But I will do some videos with it before I send it back. So. Yeah, I got mine back in 2017. So, had it a long time. And actually, my first one was a used one. A guy in the Headrush group was selling it. And before, the person who owned it before him was Gearman Dude. That's right. I had the Gearman Dude Headrush pedal board that he used in his personal review videos. Then I guess he sold it to this other guy. Then that guy didn't even know how to use it, so he sold it to me. And I was like, yes, I'll take that for a really good price. I think I got it for like $650 or something like that. So I was really happy about that. I messaged him right away when he said he was selling it for that price. And I just said, give me your PayPal right now, because I'm going to send you some money. And you're going to email, or you're going to mail me your pedal board. And he did it. And that's what I used for all my early videos almost 4 years ago. 4 years ago? It didn't even seem right, but it is. A lot's happened in 4 years. Don't even know what I'm doing right now. But let's put in a shimmer. And let's show you what some of these presets sound like here. So... Alright, so you can hear that I'm plucking, but the pre-delay is making it come in after the fact. So watch this. Okay, so if I took the sync off, now if I made the pre-delay like that slow. So for every 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second, roughly. So if I made it 1,000 something, around 1,000, that's 1 second. So pluck. Okay, so there's that sound. And now if I bring the mix to like the 50%, now you can hear both things. Okay, now let's turn on the ambiverb. And we'll crank up the chamber to something nice and lush. Let's make the pre-delay 0. High cut 500. High cut 2000. The mic with my head. Let's bring the ooh, hear that. So the tone all the way down. So if you like the really like subdued shimmer, the tone has to be down pretty far. Yeah, Billy, you really gotta check out Andrew's channel, The Cool Music Tech. He makes some wild and crazy sounds with the Headrush, and he has some really good videos with it too, like some really cool like first person like traveling in space kind of videos. It's crazy. Super crazy. Alright, so now let's bring the pre-delay back a little bit. So now I'm using the pre-delay almost as a like a second melody kind of thing. So just a slight edge of breakup kind of sound. So let's put on some K drive, which is a clone, folks. It's a clone. So let's see what happens here. Almost too washy. I'm going to bring down this shimmer a little bit. Now check out what happens if I change presets. I go back to the other preset. Let's do a Gary Moore. Here's the Prince of Tone. Switch it over to Gary or more Gary. Prince of Tone. Greg Barth in the house, folks. SonicDNA.com. That's with a slash in between, Sonic/DNA.com. Check out some impulse responses. What's great about these kind of tones is you really don't have to know how to do anything. Just bring in some reverbs and just mess with the parameters until you find something cool. And there's really no rocket science to this stuff. I'm just kind of messing around. Just with the tone all the way up. Oh, that sounds cool. Yes, sir. I don't know what's going on right now. Oh, man. So pretty. La 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 la. See what happens if we do a half note. Don't like it. It's quarter. 3/8. It's kind of mystical, isn't it? Now we are just going mono right now because I'm going just into one input. Yeah, it's not getting too muddy. Let's bring the cut down a little bit. Let's bring the mix down. That's cool. Alright, let's do one more. do reverb. And I really like the pitch delay. And I was doing some cool stuff last time, but rising higher. So that's 5 semitones. Let's make it 12 half steps higher, which is a chromatic. Next time you get a massage. Yeah, I can do that. That's cool. Alright, let me undo all this other stuff so you can hear what the pitch delay is doing. So check this out. Okay. So it's stepping up. All that crazy stuff. We can do it in eighth notes. What would happen if we just made it 0, like the same octave? So there's your repeats. If you have it on anything else, like 2 whole steps higher. Now it's video game music. Let's go down an octave. Which I think is kind of weird. Let's go back to our 12 semitones and let's detune it. Crazy. Feedback. Now some of these effects, the feedback at 65% is like self-oscillating mode. Hear how much we flattened it? So there's, then we're raising it back up to pitch. Yeah. Alright, now that's going to be really noticeable. So now let's put the reverbs back in. Put the shimmer in. We'll save new rig. We'll call this sound escape 1. We'll just call it that for now. Soundscape 1. Make your own wherever you're at. I do kind of want to change the amp just to get something a little more headroom. Let's put in a Black Lux. go to the front, and we're going to bring in a dyne comp. Now let me show you. I did this in the last live stream, the last Headrush tone sculpting, but this is really cool. So bring the threshold all the way down, bring the ratio all the way down. Now let me turn all this off. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, let's bring the knee up. Fast release, slow attack. Fast release, slow attack. This is kind of like a LA2A kind of thing. And now I'm going to start bringing up the ratio just slightly. Now we can bring up the gain a little bit to compensate for the decrease in volume from the gain reduction. Okay, let's bring the bass up a little bit, and we're good. Okay. So I get the tone from the amp, and then I just bring up the volume. Whatever I need to do. Let's bring it up at the IR stage. So, somebody asked, how do you make sure all your rigs are the same volume? And you do that by playing as hard as you're going to play, and then just look at the output. So I'm really hitting a few bars below 0 and occasionally getting into the yellow just at its loudest point. You can see if you play soft. So it's called dynamics. And as long as all your rigs are in the same kind of range, then you should be good to go. All right, so let's turn on all this stuff again. There we go. Just really sneak in that shimmer behind the other reverbs. That was now soundscape number 1. New rig. Let's pick an amp. Let's go totally opposite now. And now I want you to notice something. If it doesn't have a plus symbol beside it, that means it's a preset. Right, so for instance, here's a Fender Lux Drive. So it's a little dirty. We'll take out the cab and put in an IR. And let's go find a greenback. Let's do a greenback 421. 121 50%. All right, there's a CD, which is a greenback 421 100% and a 121 100%. And that's fine. It works for now. I just play guitar. I don't know of all this live stream stuff. Alright. I should really do this in a separate live stream, and I probably will. But let's go over real fast using my Sonic DNA IR pack that you can buy down in the description by clicking on the Sonic DNA IR or something like that. But let's just say, for instance, that sound has too much bass, right? So how do you choose the right IR for the sound you're going for? So here's a 57 off axis with a 120 100%. This should have a little bit of bite because of the 57, but also have some bass because of the 121. Okay, and if you feel like that's a little too much, let's just go down to 121 50%. Now go back and forth. Okay, and then let's go down to 0%, which is all 57 off axis right now. It's no 121 at all. So ultimately, if you have multiple packs, you have to ask yourself, what speaker do you want to use? And that narrows that down. And then you have to ask yourself, what microphone do I want to use? So that narrows it down even more. And then if you have off axis versus on axis, that's another way of narrowing it down. And then at that point, it's just like, all right, so you got the speaker, you got the microphone, and you have the mic position. Now just choose something and start rocking, okay? Now for me, that is a Vintage 30, which is okay. Vintage 30s are more scoop sounding. Let's go to a greenback. Let's do greenback 57, 121 50%. So there's your greenback sound with two different mics, and I think that sounds pretty good. So. And that's really, I really only use my pack. One, because he made it just for me, and you can buy it down below and support me here on the channel if you really want to. You don't have to, but it's great if you want. But I like the least amount of options as possible. I don't want to have thousands of IRs. Just give me one pack that has 2 different speaker options and 3 different microphone options. And now I'm thinking like a producer in the studio. I'm like, all right, and this is really based off of my 2x12 cab, which is right over here, with the greenback end of Vintage 30. So I just want to think, if I have 2 mics on a speaker, or 2 different mics on 2 different speakers, how would I position them to get the sound I want? And that's just what you gotta do. At some point, you gotta stop worrying about, oh, man, I wish I just had like one more IR, then I would like finally find my sound. Well, you probably have your sound in the thousands of IRs you already have anyway. Just, like I said, pick a speaker, pick a mic, and then go with that, on or off axis, up or down, whichever you want. All right, so there's a pretty dirty amp. Let's switch to a different amp. And let's see what a J45 cranked sounds like. Yeah, I agree, Billy. Too many choices is like death by 1,000 cuts. It's just, man. What, how can you waste hours at a time versus not playing at all? I think that sounds good. Let's throw in a tube screamer in front of it. I swear I save that green color every time, and it just does not save. But it's alright. The tube screamer introduces a little bit of bark. Check my feed here. A little bit of bark into the tone. Alright. I was thinking about playing a backing track, but then I realized there's no way to pipe it through the live stream, so I'm not going to do that. Alright, there's a good rock tone, right? I mean, if you gotta have just a touch of reverb, I'm just like itty bitty amounts. Let's turn that mix down pretty good. Turn the tone all the way up. Yeah. 1 second. Oh, that's good. It just gives it just enough ambience just to make it not so dry in the ears. I did get a message from a guy that plays down on Broadway here in Nashville, and he was saying he has the gig board, and he's going to use it down on Broadway to play some gigs. So, get it, gig board, playing some gigs. I know I'm hilarious. But honestly, I mean, just make some rigs to fill up the 4 switches here, and then just swap between like clean, crunch, lead, solo, or something, and just make it really easy on yourself. Don't go crazy and make like 100 rigs for one song. Doesn't make sense. You're not going to change tones that much in a song. I do declare. All right, for fun, let's say J54. This is J45, but I reversed it. All right, let's go to Stomp View. And now we're going to do something cool that you may not have known you can do before. Now, notice inside each block, there's a little bitty kind of thing going on in there, okay? So what we have to do is say, if we want this sound to be a preset, we have to save it as a preset in this screen. If we save it right here, it just saves the rig. If you double tap on the block and then press save, you can say new preset, J45 dirt, and it's already used. So DT for dirt. Okay. Now, with that preset saved, we can go into hardware assign. and let's make the second scene have that preset. Alright, so we're going to go down here and choose J45DT. Okay, and we're just going to keep it on. Now, we're going to go back. And we're going to change the sound of this amp here a little bit. Okay, so let's make it a little cleaner. And notice we're losing a lot of volume here. So I'm going to show you how to fix that here in a second. A graphic EQ. After the amp, we're going to crank it up. Raise the gain here. Or if you feel like that's not enough gain, let's do a white boost. Let's raise the level. Alright, so this is going to be our post amp boost to get the clean tone up to the same level as our dirty tone. So let's go back to the amp and let's make it nice and clean. As much as we can. Alright, this is going to take some experimentation here. But in scene 1, did I even save that? No, I didn't. So this right here, let's go new preset, J45CL for clean. Okay. So now, hardware assign, edit, preset. Let's go all the way down. And there's our J45CL. Okay, and we're going to make sure the boost is on for that. And then in this one, the boost is going to be off. Okay. So now, essentially, I'm going to hit a switch. And that's going to have the CL or J45CL on. Then if I go to scene 2, it's going to turn off the boost. And it's going to switch to my J45DT, which is a dirty. Okay, so now I'm using one amp block, but I'm switching between two different amp presets. Okay. Alright, let's alter this a little bit. So scene 2, the green JRC is going to be off. And let's make sure it's the same for this one. So now we should be getting a good clean sound. There we go. So it was sounding dirty before because I still had the tube screamer on. That's my mistake. Now you have to decide, do you want the level to be up? Do you want the gain to be up a little bit? Maybe the treble down. Okay, we'll save it. Scene 2. Okay. And maybe that's the way you want to work in your band. Alright, let's say for example, I want the JRC there. I'm going to make this a scene. And I'm going to go in, and I do want the JRC to be on. I don't want the white boost to be on. And I'm going to go choose an amp preset down here that I've already made. And this is going to be a Marshall bass mod preset. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now, if I hit scene 3, hello. Now the amp changes to my Marshall BM hair bass mod. Okay. Okay, I'm not too fond of that. Let's turn the gain up, presence down, treble down. Now just right over this preset. Alright, let's save that. So it's going to write over that preset. So amp 1, or scene 1, scene 2. The white boost is right after the IR, so it's right here. As long as it's after the amp, you're going to get a true volume boost. If it's before the amp, you're just pushing the front end of the amp. So hey, thanks Andrew for chiming in and waking up so early over there in the UK. Hope everything's going all right for you guys. Alright, scene 3. Alright, now there's another situation. So that sound is a little low in volume. Let's turn on the white boost. Now it's too loud. So see what happens if we crank the master volume. Really nothing is going on here. So, let's do this. Let's bring in a graphic EQ. And let's crank the gain on it here. Alright, so let's just say that's a good amount of volume for you. Now, we're going to have to go back. Let's save this preset. Oh, hold on. Save. Now, hardware assign. Let's go into this. Let's make sure the graphic EQ is on, but the white boost is off. Okay. Let's turn the JRC off. I can always kick it in over here if I want. Since we've added the graphic EQ, I need to go in and make sure that's off for that scene, and then it's off for that scene. And we'll hit save. So I can watch, I can still turn on my JRC right here with that switch. But now I just have clean. A little bit of crunch. I can go in and be like, yeah, I want to bring that down just a little bit maybe. Just so there's some room to grow here with the gain structure. And I'll save that. So it's going to overwrite the previous DT preset. So back to clean. I think somebody either commented on a post or maybe commented on a live stream, but he was like, yeah, you could just switch amps using scenes and using one block and just using the block preset setup there. But notice what happens if I'm playing. So, right, there's a little bit of gap in sound, and I'm not too fond of that. So, usually, if I need just tons of gain sounds, I'll just pick one amp, or maybe 2 amps, and just swap back and forth, and just have the amps literally on different blocks. And I think the sound is a lot smoother in that way. But I do think block presets work really well with like overdrive pedals and maybe some modulation stuff. Not so much with reverbs and delays, because it does stop the previous preset, and therefore you're not getting all the spillover of your delay and reverb. So I'm not fond of that, but let's go in here. Let's raise our white boost level. So we're using one block for the amp, but we have to use 2 other blocks just to compensate for the different volume levels. So to me, it's kind of a trade-off. It's like, sure, you're only using one block for the amp, but you have to use up 2 other blocks just to make up for the lack of volume balancing options. So it's not really how I would build a rig. But that's just the way it is. So, alright, so that's how you do that if you want to do it that way. And let's do one more. I don't even know. Let's actually go to modulation. We'll do acoustic sim, which I'm still not convinced is that great. I mean, it's just a boss. Not pop or silence when switched. A pain while playing live. Yeah, I think it's great. I'll watch some videos on it tomorrow. So, to me, it's just not that. It's not very acoustic-like. We can go in and change to like standard. Yeah, I'm going to scrap that. I think it's not worth it. I never bought the Boss Acoustic Sim, and I'm not going to use a virtual Boss Acoustic Sim. It just doesn't sound like an acoustic. If you want to play an acoustic, then play an acoustic. I mean, I know there's going to be situations where you kind of want to get by, like get like a faux acoustic kind of sound, but it's just not worth it to me. Alright, I was researching some Mesa Boogie stuff here lately, so let's do tread modern sound. We'll put it into IR, custom IR. And let's see what other options we have for IRs here. Hot bias. See what that does. And I am... Oh, sorry. The rig volume was all the way up. My bad. I was like, why do you get so much distortion? It's crazy. There we go. Change that to IR. this is back when Greg was doing the extended bass, extended highs, kind of like the that ultra maximizer pedal, whatever it is, sonic maximizer. So extended bass, extended highs. He has max, which is both, and then he has raw. It really does, Billy. This is why I'm able to use so many different types of gear. Because it's really just all the same concept. You're just regurgitating the same information over and over and over to different pieces of gear. So it doesn't matter if it's a Headrush or a Helix or a Kemper or an Axe-FX or a Neural DSP or whatever the next big thing on the market is ever going to be 20 years from now. It's all going to be, here's an amp, here's some gain staging, here's how you set up some pedals in front of it with maybe some effects in the effects loop. And just go play a show, okay? Don't worry too much about the gear you have. Just make sure your playing is on par. Mad Mike, musician a bit crazy. This is true. And your video stuff is getting really good, Mike. I've been watching it. You're doing good stuff. Okay, so I think the hot bias only has 4 IRs in it, which is fine. Here's a freed IR. So this has a lot of bite to it. And yeah. All right, sounds like a Mesa Boogie to me. Let's bring in a little bit of delay and reverb. Not necessarily in that order. Alright, it's coming up on 1 o'clock in the morning here, so I'm going to have to cut this off here pretty soon. But let's finish off this rig, and we'll call it a night. Now remember, the first few days in August, I'll do another live stream for my Headrush tone sculpting, and that's going to be the August edition of me building rigs right here in front of you, kind of like what I'm doing in this live stream. But those rigs will be available in the Headrush course that is available on my website. It's a one-time payment. You get lifetime access, and there's almost 100 videos in there going over every amp, pedal, cab, microphone, all that stuff. Shows how to build different styles of rigs and different genres. So if you really want a course that teaches you how amps work, how pedals and cabs and all that work together, then don't think you have to have a Headrush to buy that course, because it's all the information, just like Billy has stated here. All this information applies to pretty much any guitar setup you're ever going to have. So if you're very new to electric guitar and you don't even own a Headrush, but like you're interested in learning about that kind of stuff, then this is a great course for you. I really take you step by step through every single amp, all the different pedals, and show you how to set them up and get good gain staging and good tones for different genres of music. So check that out on the website. There's a link down in the description for that. Tape echo. Let's do a little not dock slap. Let's do 300 milliseconds. Okay, let's bring down the mix just a little bit. And I'm just doing all this by ear and to taste. So okay, that's kind of fun. Let's bring it back up to 20%. And now we're going to put the tape echo before the amp. So watch this. So if you like your delay to really be very good, Billy. Yeah, send me an email and let me know what kind of questions you got. If you really want your delay to really pop out in the mix and get kind of gritty sounding in front of a dirty amp, then just put the delay before the input of the amp, and that's the sound. Then if you want it more subdued and tucked in, you put it after the amp. Sorry, I was reading a comment. So you can really hear that before the amp, it sticks out because the distortion of the amp is amplifying that delay. But when the delay is after the amp, it's essentially in the effects loop, and it's a lot cleaner sounding. So alright, let's put a clone before this. Because I always put a J or C, but let's just try something different. And we'll bring the drive all the way down. Alright, so there's a basic Mesa Boogie kind of sound that you can show up to any hard rock metal rig or metal gig and just plug straight into the front of house and start shredding. So if you're watching this on the replay or a month from now, and you're like, hey, I want that rig. It's like, well, I'm not really going to necessarily give away these rigs or put them on the website. I'm just I kind of had to pivot tonight because my live stream setup wasn't working the way I thought. So I'm doing a Headrush kind of Q&A right now and just kind of taking questions. But this is very easy to follow along. So pick your amp, pick your IR or cab, stock cab, whatever you want. Pick a drive, pick a delay, pick a reverb, and there's your rig. Super simple. I'm not doing anything special here. And I think you can do it as well. So we're going to save this. We're going to call it Tread Face. I have no idea why. That's just what we're doing. So, all right. I think I'm done. It's 1 o'clock right on the dot. And didn't think I was going to be going for that long, but I did. So, in about an hour and a half. Thanks, guys, for watching. Be sure to subscribe down below. Click the bell. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Check out the links in the description. If you shop on Amazon a lot, there's an Amazon affiliate link that you can click through, and then whatever you purchase, whether it's toilet paper or a new guitar, I'll get a little bit of commission from that. And also, if you like Sweetwater, there is a Sweetwater affiliate link down there. Same thing. You click on it, you buy a pack of strings, and I get a small commission. Or maybe you buy a Mesa Boogie $2,000 amp, and I get a commission from that as well. So I do not get a payout until I reach $100 on Sweetwater. I think the last time I checked, it was like $55. So people are using that link to purchase things, and I do appreciate that. You just woke up. That's great. Pierre. Piero. Sorry about that. Yeah, so if you're going to shop there anyway, go ahead and click through my link, and I would appreciate any support here on the channel. And until next time, whenever you watch this, I am Dr. Mcfarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.